Hey guys, today I want to talk about one of the most underrated updates, which is the Slayer update. It's almost been out for a year now, and it added quite a bit of content to the game and a few new interesting items like Threeper Scythe, the Overflux, and the Mosquito Bow. Unfortunately, this past February, they did not go forward with doing Slayer V2, which is really unfortunate, but I still want to talk about the update anyway and kind of be like, give my thoughts on it, because I thought it was really good at the time. Nowadays, it's kind of just more so a money sink, which is essentially what it was back then. Just the prices are a lot cheaper than they were before, which I'll probably go over that in a sec, heading over to the NPC. But this was definitely a very good step in like a first skyblock to take was an update like this, which is why I'm very disappointed they did not go forward with Slayer V2, considering that would have been quite a bit of content, since at the time it was, January, February, Minigloon started to leak some of the like T5, T6 zombie like Revenant mobs, and they looked really interesting. However, I guess he just didn't feel like doing it or something because it just got scrapped, which is pretty lame if you ask me, considering Slayer is definitely the better out of Dungeons or Slayer. I think Slayer was a lot cooler since it added a lot of new stuff. So if you guys don't know what Slayer is, go to the Sky Maddox and just right now there's 3 different tasks. Boston development, like they could have done with other Slayers too. That would have been really awesome, but again, who really knows what they really plan? Let's go under Sven, for example. You can go look at boss drafts you have level. There's a lot of good stuff on each Slayer. Like the Overflux, the rename me. I don't know why this thing is, messed up. This is the Grizzly Bait. I don't know why the name is messed up. And then Red Claw Egg. So these two make a talisman, and this makes the Overflux, which is all these are really, really good items that you can use, especially the talismans. Slayer introduced a lot of new epic talismans, which was really good because at the time we didn't have too many. Then we have Tarantula, which implemented the Mosquito Bow, which is a really powerful single target bow. Hopefully something better than it comes out since, Slayer's been left alone. Some Toxic Poison, which is again really good because it's a buff to your arrow damage. Slice Water, which is for minion speed buff, which is decent, I guess, if you want to waste a lot of coins on it. The Trencher Talisman, which is a really, 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 really good talisman, which makes running Trenches really worth, especially when before it was worth like 20 mil. And then besides that, nothing really too special. Then we got the Revenant, which again, Revenant is definitely the worst one out of the 3, considering it doesn't even offer you a talisman as a drop. Now there is craftable drops, like the craftable test like spider and zombie rings and stuff like that. But mainly people did Revenant for Scythe, which Scythe was a really, really, I'm saying really, really a lot, but this isn't a Scythe, but pretend this is a Scythe. Let me see if I can find it right quick. One of these bags. Alright, here it is. So Scythe is really good, but in dungeons, which is probably the only place it would probably want to be utilized, the mobs die too quick considering their HP pool is too low, which is not good. But considering you can have 5 mobs with 30% of your stats, you essentially have 150% bonus damage if you can keep your mobs alive somehow. So it's really good. Now, Slayer V2, on the other hand, it would have been cool if they, in your Slayer V2 added tier 5, 6, maybe some new mobs, maybe upgrades to the current stuff. I think that would have been pretty cool if you ask me. But, I mean, I don't know, that's just my thoughts. Essentially, as we just mentioned earlier as well, Slayer was designed as a money sink, which is probably why they are not going forward with adding more. And I just don't get it. Every update they seem to add to Skyblock has some kind of money sink, which is just not that good in my opinion. Because what's the point of having, like all these ways to drain coins from players when they have so many other ways that are already injecting coins into the economy. Like, I think they should have took a step back and be like, okay, maybe minions are a little too strong. Instead of just being like, all right, every piece of content has to somehow just suck the lifeblood out of all their players. So they always have 0 coins. So when you actually add something in that needs coins, they'll have none. So there's something to work towards. And it's just thinking like that. But I want to know what you guys think about the Slayer update. Do you think it's underrated? Do you think it's good? I think I've kind of, stated my opinion. Out of most of the updates, I, even though I know I flame Mini, if you guys remember the whole Wolf arc I went through trying to get an Overflux, because we used to be Wolf rank 1, like we grinded a lot, but was it worth it? No, because all we got for it was one Kotor rune. We never got an Overflux, we never got just a Mosquito. We've recently got a, Scythe, but eh. The content it added though was, pretty significant. It did add some new cool items as well. And it always makes for a good update, no matter how kind of, I guess I use the word bad some other aspects are. Because you guys know me, I like to flame the updates quite a bit. But I think it's just kind of my personality, because I just want the game, which again, if you may be new, you probably not new people watching, but if you're new, it might not seem like it with my attitude with the game, but I care about the game. I want to do well. So that's why I want to be like kind of critical-ish about updates and their, their inherent flaws, which a lot of them is their inability to sustain themselves for a long period of time. Now you could say Slayers has that issue, but it kind of doesn't. Since I had to show it when I level up, or not level up when I finish the task. But each Slayer has a level system, and they go up to level 7, 8, 9, 10, yada yada yada. And if they ever, worked on it, they'd actually have tier 9 perks and stuff like that. But having something like that, which is kind of super far in the future, like getting 8, 9, 10, which would unlock new craftables, new buffs, stuff like that. That is good. Like stuff like that is makes it worthwhile to do, because it makes the player want to keep doing it. To be like, hey, if I get level 8 from level 7, I can get this cool HP regen buff or something like that. And always having perks like that that benefit the player just permanently are really good. They tried something like that with dungeons, which is the Wither Essence shop, but it's just not good. And a lot of the gear in dungeons right now is not good at all. And a lot of the stuff you do in dungeons doesn't carry to the rest of Skyblock, which to me is kind of an issue, since it makes dungeons not seem worth doing at all. Because people just want to get stuff for the character, make their character better, stuff like that. Or, I mean, that's what I want to do at least. I mean, I don't know what other people like, but I assume they'd like to do similar stuff. So, go to Sven, you do lots of new rewards, right? Level 7, we unlock Overflux, cool. Level 8, we unlock, they actually implemented the large Slayer stacks level 8, which I don't really like that change, but whatever. So Wolf, for example, gives you speed and you lose 5% less coins on death. Again, useless perk that needs to be reworked. And you get level 9 and it gives you 5 HP. So that is pretty much a placeholder if you ask me. I'll have to call Maddox again to look at the other two. But it's basically stuff like that that makes for a really good experience, in my opinion. So yeah, like this perk of like plus 10% alchemy XP. Definitely worth picking this up if you want to do alchemy at all, because that's a pretty significant bonus. And then last one, God, it's taking so long to look at all the NPC menus, which would be a lot easier to just go to the NPC. One should be, this is the HP regen buff, which I mentioned earlier. Plus 50% natural health regen. That is a really good perk. And it might not seem like it, but it is good, since your natural health regeneration is literally based off your health and stuff like that. Let's head over to the dungeon hub. Come on, don't throw me game. But anyway, so comparing those nice perks to the Wither Essence shop, as you guys can see, 4 HP, 2 defense, 2 speed. Like 2 speed's okay, 2 strength's decent. Like those are decent buffs, but they're not nearly enough to warrant me doing dungeons like that much. Now, eventually the gear in dungeons will be better than normal, which makes it kind of worth doing, but until that's out, it's kind of just like, why am I doing it right now? I guess besides like coins, but that's a whole other topic, I guess. Anyway, I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. Thank you guys for watching. If you're new, maybe think about subscribing. We're almost at YouTube rank, so if you can help support the channel, maybe think about dropping a sub and a like, and maybe comment, what your thoughts on Slayer, or maybe not a video topic you guys like to see next. Alright, thanks guys. Bye.